Well, welcome to Introduction to Gua Sha. After conducting several workshops and events, one of the most common things that I found is that people will either have a Gua Sha tool but don't know how to use it, or they have the tool, are using it, but they're not really sure why they're using it. So I thought this would be a really beginner-friendly session just to help share more about this ancient self-healing technique. So in this session, I'll share more about the history of Gua Sha and the traditional benefits before moving into some of the modern day benefits and leading you through skin prep and a demo that you can do at home. I'll give you the opportunity to also ask questions before the demo and also afterwards. So if you can save them for then, that would be wonderful. So, for those who don't know me, my name is Marissa, and I'm the founder of Wild and Cruelty Free, which is an ethical online beauty store, and its purpose is to help women on a journey to better beauty. I'm also a Reiki practitioner and a Gua Sha teacher, and I've been practicing Gua Sha in my own personal self-care and skincare routine for many, many years now. And I just became fascinated with the benefits that it can give you, not only for the skin and your complexion, but also the benefits that are unseen, the energetic benefits and the releasing of like tension and stress from the face. I have been cruelty free since 2018, and I'm also an animal lover and advocate. So let's start with what Gua Sha is. So Gua Sha is an ancient self-care and healing technique traditionally used to promote energy flow and clear blockages to restore balance in the body. So Gua Sha is commonly used in traditional Chinese medicine to treat pain and a variety of health concerns. It's a non-invasive way to promote immediate relief from discomfort and to promote wellness. And Gua Sha has been passed down through generations in Chinese households and traditionally performed using simple tools like coins, soup spoons, and smooth edge materials. So what does Gua Sha mean? So Gua means to scrape, and Sha refers to the redness or the red marks that occur on the skin during the treatment. Now, the redness that does occur is normal and it does disappear after time. But in the coming slides, I'll show you some examples of the intensity of the redness after a traditional Gua Sha treatment, which is nothing like you would experience with an at-home routine, which is very gentle and not as intense. So the traditional benefits of Gua Sha include the releasing of stagnant energy and blood flow. Traditional Chinese medicine teaches us that pain and illness can be caused by blockages or stagnation in the body's energy pathways, which is also known as the meridians. And so Gua Sha was used to move qi, which is energy flow, which means energy in Chinese medicine, and blood flow to help clear blockages and restore balance in the body. So overall, the traditional purpose of Gua Sha was to treat the entire body's energy flow and support healing from within. It's also been used to treat fevers, colds, and heat stroke. It relieves muscle tension and joint pain, and especially discomfort that you can experience in the neck, shoulders, and back. It helps to improve circulation and reduce inflammation. So the scraping motion itself helps to reduce local inflammation and assist the body's natural healing response. And the focus is really on that deep tissue release, promoting healing and immune function. So these are some photos after a traditional Gua Sha treatment. And obviously, when we do it at home, this is nothing like it will look like. Traditionally, when Gua Sha is used as a way to treat pain and health conditions, the pressure used throughout the treatment is very different and a lot firmer than the gentle pressure we use when massaging the face. So practitioners use this firm scraping technique along the back, shoulders, and neck to stimulate circulation, release toxins, and to restore energy flow. So traditionally, Gua Sha means to scrape away the pain. But if we fast forward to today, and Gua Sha is now seen as an act of self-care and it promotes a variety of skincare benefits. So some of the main ones are that it helps to lift and sculpt the face to define the cheekbones and jawline, which creates a more contoured appearance. It helps to reduce puffiness and supports lymphatic drainage. This helps to reduce like any excess fluid in the skin and reduce puffiness, especially around like the cheeks and the eyes. It helps to boost microcirculation that helps to stimulate the production of elastin and collagen, which naturally depletes as we get older. So that then leads to healthier, glowing skin. It helps to soften fine lines and wrinkles over times. It helps to release facial tension. So a lot of people store a lot of tension in their jaw, in their forehead and brows. So Gua Sha really helps to release that stress and tension from the face and neck. And it also helps to calm the nervous system and just promotes overall relaxation. So Gua Sha tools have evolved a lot over the thousands of years that it's been practiced. So traditionally, the tools consisted of materials such as stone, horns, bones, ceramic metal, and even plastics. But today, the tools used primarily are made of crystal and come in a range of shapes and sizes. The most common shape that you'll see is the smooth edge massaging tool, and this just naturally hugs the contours of the face. But then you can also get another one which has a combed edge. And the combed edge is really handy because it helps to enhance the vibration within the fascia of the skin to promote deeper stimulation and muscle relaxation. So if you do get that tension build up, especially like in the jaw and in the forehead or even around the neck, the combed edge can really help to provide a deeper massage and greater relief. You can also get the comb, which can be used on the head, and that helps to stimulate the scalp, which can promote new hair growth and just promote overall relaxation. And then there's also a larger tool you can get, which can be used along the larger limbs, such as the legs and the arms. So there's all different tools now. There's no right or wrong, but it just depends, I guess, what you're looking for out of your massage and also the part of the body you're looking to focus on. So when selecting a Gua Sha tool, it's important to consider the crystal type as each crystal type holds different energetic properties. So some of the main ones that you'll see is jade, which helps to relax, rebalance, and restore a sense of harmony. Jade is also believed to unblock the heart chakra because that is also green in color. Rose quartz is the stone of love and the heart, and it promotes unconditional love, self-forgiveness, and acceptance, and enhances self-trust and self-worth. Clear agate is the master healing stone and can help boost the immune system and clear the body of toxins. And grey agate is a grounding stone which dissolves inner tension and balances energy. So crystals have the ability to absorb and hold unique energies, both positive and negative. So it's always important to energetically cleanse and recharge them after each use. And I'll show you how to do that in the coming slides. So there's a few tips for Gua Sha, and there are some instances where you would not do Gua Sha. And some of these are if you have open wounds or other skin injuries like severe acne, breakouts, sunburn, rashes, any kind of abrasions or skin irregularities. If you have acute stages of rosacea, psoriasis, or eczema, if you've had Botox or fillers within the last 2 weeks, it's not recommended. And if you're on any blood thinning medication or bleeding disorders such as leukemia or anemia, it's also advised to avoid doing Gua Sha. But really, the techniques are, to use a pressure that is gentle and it feels good for you. I have always found Gua Sha as a very intuitive practice. And, some days you might be feeling more tension in the face and you want to use a more gentle pressure, or you may be feeling a lot of stress and you want that relief. So you use a bit of a firmer pressure, but only you will know what's right for you. If at any point you ever feel discomfort, I always advise just to reduce the pressure that you're using or just to skip that area and then you can move on to another area. Always prep the skin first and never perform Gua Sha on dry skin. We don't want to tug or pull at the skin. We want to have a really nice surface the tool glides along. We like to hold the Gua Sha at a 15 to 45 degree angle in most cases using a sweeping motion. You can do gua sha in the morning or the evening, but it's generally recommended that you do each area 5 to 10 times, as doing it more than this can overstimulate the skin and cause inflammation. So skin prep is always the first step in your gua sha routine, and we like to start on freshly cleansed skin. So I like to start by applying a very generous layer of facial mist to the face and neck and décolletage, and then I massage it into the skin. Now, typically when people use a facial mist, they just spritz it all over and then it will like absorb in time. By massaging it in, you're really working it into the skin. And then in that case, you may need to apply a few more layers, which is totally fine because we want to get the skin damp, not dripping, but just damp enough. So then we can apply the oil on top. So once the skin's damp, we can then apply 1 to 3 drops of a facial oil onto the face and neck. And because the face is already damp, we won't need too much oil and the skin won't feel greasy because often if we apply too much oil, it can start to feel a bit heavy, it can be greasy. Use that to start and then build up because it's always easier to apply more oil, but it's always harder to take it away if you apply too much. And if you're doing the treatment and at any point your skin starts to feel dry, you can always just re-mist with your facial mist, and that way it'll reactivate the oil so you don't need to keep applying more on top. So I'm just going to stop sharing the screen and I thought I'll jump into the demonstration and take you through the skin prep and 3 of the basic techniques that will help along the jawline, the cheeks, and the forehead, which you can then repeat at home. As I mentioned, I'm going to use the grey agate, which has the combed edge, but anytime you want to use it, I like to use the 15 to 45-degree angle, and you can even like practice on your wrist and just kind of get a sense for that sweeping motion. And then once you've prepped the skin, you can also just compare it. Like, how does it feel in terms of like gliding on the skin when you've got your skin care on versus it just on dry skin? So I'll start with the face mist. And I personally like to spray it into my hand so I get all the mist and it's not just floating off into the air and you get to use it all. I guess while I'm applying, do you have any questions so far, or
I don't have questions, but I'm finding it very interesting. There's so much I didn't know.
it's one of those things like especially the traditional side of it.
Mm,
There's so many, I guess, contradictions now in the modern day how it's used. So one of the modern day benefits that a lot of people talk about is lymphatic drainage. But if you talk to a traditional Chinese medicine doctor, that's not one of the traditional benefits, and it's not actually what they use it for.
mm,
Interesting to see how, I guess, the benefits have evolved and been shaped over time. Um, Not to say that it can't have those benefits, but that wasn't really what it was intended for.
yeah,
But
very interesting. I didn't even realize that they used to practice gua sha all over the body. I thought it was just a facial skincare thing.
yeah, well, that's it. And they even do it now to this day. If you go to a traditional Chinese doctor,
Yeah,
you can still get it done, obviously more with modern day tools. But yeah, it's just so interesting to see the release, which is probably similar to that of like cupping. If you've seen people
yeah,
cupping on the back, that redness and bruising that really
yeah.
brings the blood flow and the energy to the surface. But it's just done, I guess, in a more targeted way. Whereas the cups can only land so much, they really
Hmm.
get in there. Um, and it was interesting because I did an event recently, and one of the women, she was actually Chinese, and she said, I've never grown up knowing this as a self-care technique. She goes, this to me is associated with pain because it was used to treat
Mm.
ailments. It was never used as a relaxation technique or, a wellness
That's
technique.
so interesting.
Yeah. And so she found it really, I guess, different and interesting for her too to use these new tools where she's like, my mum just used to use a spoon. And I'm like, Okay, there are spoons they've developed now, but I get what you mean, just like a steel kitchen spoon.
Yeah, wow.
She goes, yeah, that's what she would use on me if we were sick or anything. So,
That's so interesting.
yeah. Okay, so I've applied quite a generous layer of oil now. So I will go in with my facial oil. And again, I'm just going to apply just a few drops. And the good thing is, by misting the face first and then applying the oil on top, we're going to be pushing the oil in. So the face is already hydrated and it's going to help the oil absorb in. So we're actually going to receive the benefits of the skincare rather than it just sitting on top of the skin. Alrighty. Okay, so we're going to generally always start on the right-hand side of the face. And like I said, we can go between 5 to 10 strokes per side. I normally sit at 8. I find that to be a sweet spot. But again, depending on time and, what kind of routine you want to do, you can, change it to suit. So I'm going to do the jawline sweep. We're going to use the longer outer curve, and we're also going to use the double curve by placing our chin in between. I like to hook my finger under the ear just so then when it glides along, it goes straight under and it doesn't hit my earrings or my ear. And on that 15 to 45-degree angle, I'm just going to gently sweep it up and repeat that 8 times. So this particular technique just helps to firm and lift the jawline. And a great thing to do, like when you're doing gua sha, and if you're looking to see what the results are over time, is to take a before photo because it's not really one of those things you notice after one go. But if you were to do it consistently for a couple of weeks, you generally be able to see quite a big difference. And then repeat on the other side. So basically the oil and the mist also just helps the tool to glide along really effortlessly, especially like if you're doing it on the cheeks or anywhere under the eyes, like that's really delicate skin, so you don't want any tugging there. So it's always good to ensure that you've got that skin prep done first. So now we're going to do a cheekbone sculpt. So we're going to use the double edge, and I'm going to place it along the side of my nose, but putting most of the pressure on the bottom curve. And it's going to sweep along under the cheekbone, come up to the side, just at the side of the ear, and I'm going to pulse 3 times. And then repeat. So because the top of the top curve, that's really just kind of being guided along. It's not really adding any pressure, but it's just lightly touching the skin. And again, that just helps to hook under the cheekbone and lift that area. But as it glides over that jaw muscle, the masseter, if you get any tension there, it's also a nice relief. And we'll do the other side. Okay, and now the third one I'll do is a forehead lift, and this is one of my favorites because we often hold a lot of tension in the forehead and in like the brows, and that can lead to us having those 11 lines. But the forehead lift is really nice, so we can use that longer outer edge, just kind of support the hairline, but start in the middle of the brow and at that 15 to 45-degree angle, just push up and keeping it on top of the brows, just work along the top of the forehead. This just helps to relieve a lot of the tension in the forehead, and it can also minimize any lines that you might get there. So for this one, you could just do it for, 30 seconds. And then once you have done it, and you can kind of just push it into the hairline all along the top. And then to smooth and soothe the area, you might just use the outer curve, hold the support your skin in the center of the forehead, and then using more of a flat, like not so much the 15 to 45, but just keeping it flat, just kind of stroke it along and out to the temple. This is just like a really nice smoothing and soothing stroke that you can finish with as a bit of a warm down. And normally when I do that, I just do 3 or 4 on each side. You don't have to do the whole lot. So I'll just go back to sharing, oops, my screen. So after gua sha, it's important to drink plenty of water to flush out any toxins that may have been released from the tissues during the treatment and to get plenty of rest so your body has a chance to heal and integrate. I like to clean my gua sha after every use, and I just use rinse it under some water to remove any of the skincare residue and then dry it with paper towel or a tissue. And you can also charge your gua sha because it is made out of crystal and it's a natural stone. You can put it under the full moon to charge it. Or I also like to just keep mine on a selenite plate, which has the ability to naturally charge other crystals when they're placed upon them. And then alternatively, I just keep them in a dry, safe place or in a little cotton dust bag to protect it from scratches and any energy buildup. So Gua Sha is a great practice to continue to do at home. Even if you only have 5 minutes, it's better than doing nothing. And I personally like to keep my gua sha in the living room. I keep it just on the coffee table and I'll do it a bit while I'm watching TV, out of sight, out of mind. So if I don't see it, chances are I'm probably going to forget to do it. So it's nice just to have it available. If you don't have a gua sha tool, I have some beautiful tools and bundles available online at Wild and Cruelty Free. And I like to hold different online gua sha classes where I share new targeted techniques where we might focus on a specific area of the face. And I also love hosting in-person self-care experiences. They normally incorporate gua sha and other healing modalities to really help you ground back into your body and connect with other like-minded women. So that is everything. Do you have any other questions? I'll stop sharing.
Yes, I do have a couple of questions that came up.
Amazing.
But first, I wanted to say thank you. That was really informative, and I look forward to getting a gua sha tool and having a go myself.
Amazing. Yeah,
Um,
it's great. And it's good because once you have them, like online, I have the ones from Wonder Lightly that's made out of the jade,
mm,
and the Wild and Cruelty Free ones, which have the combed edge, they're made out of the grey agate. So there's two
mm.
you can choose from.
Yeah, I'll have a look at that. So my first question was, does it matter what time of day? Is it better like in the morning or at night, or it doesn't really matter?
It doesn't really matter. I just generally try and fit it into my routine when it's best. I like to do it on an evening because
Yeah.
I personally find it very relaxing. So
Mm,
if I've had a stressful day or I've been busy and making myself a cup of tea or if I'm watching TV, just even the practice of massaging my face, especially around the eyes, I just get so relaxed and sleepy. that it just puts me into the best state to go straight to bed, have a really deep sleep. But equally, you can do it in the morning. You can do it before you apply your other skincare products. So you cleanse your skin. You might apply a serum to start if you want to, or just go straight in with the mist and then the oil, and then always apply sunscreen afterwards or before you apply any other makeup or skincare products on top.
Yeah. Well, you actually answered both of my questions because the next one was yeah, skincare afterwards. I haven't really used a facial oil before because I tend to have quite oily skin naturally. So I was wondering, would you then sort of cleanse the oil off again and then apply your normal skincare?
You can do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you find your skin gets oily and you don't
Yeah.
kind of like apply more to that. So
Yeah.
you could just start with cleanse skin, do the mist, a couple of drops of the oil. Then you can just wash your face afterwards, like cleanse it as usual and go about your normal routine.
Yeah.
If after you've done it, you find that your skin's actually feeling fine, you could then go ahead and apply your normal skincare products on top and just see how you go. But
Yeah.
you can just experiment. So either way is totally fine.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Thank you. That was all my questions, but I felt very relaxed just watching you, so I can't wait to try.
Well, I find that those three techniques, at least you're focusing on three, I guess, main areas.
Mm,
But in the other classes I do, I like to focus, especially like on the neck. A lot of us, I guess, hold a lot of tension in the neck,
yeah.
taking it up into the back of the hairline to the base of the skull is always nice too. Um, and just even sweeping down the neck. Another point is, I guess, if you ever do anything around the neck and the chest, I like to avoid just anything on the center of the throat. It's
Hmm.
quite a sensitive area in terms of, we've got our voice box and everything else, and there's lymphs nearby. So I just avoid like anything kind of down here, and I just
Hmm.
keep it to the side of the neck.
Hmm.
Always just using a pressure that feels good for you as well.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. I look forward to it. Thank you
Um,
so much.
you're welcome. Thank you so much for coming.